I declare congregation open. Please take your seats. Mr. Mayor, distinguished guests, graduates, family and friends, a very warm welcome to you all. As Chancellor, it is a great privilege to be sharing this special day of graduation with you. I would like to start by inviting you to join me in congratulating our musicians who've been playing an anthem specially written for us by our partners, the Bournemouth Symphony Orchestra, for playing it at graduation ceremonies. Thank you very much. Graduation is a very important event in your life, one which I hope you will never forget. You've worked incredibly hard to get here. There are very few moments in life when we get to publicly celebrate your achievements with family and friends. So above all else, make sure that you enjoy today. Graduation is also a chance for the whole university to reflect on our history and values, values that connect us not just today, but forever. Exeter has thrived over the last 6 decades to become one of the very best universities in the world, indeed in the top 1% of universities in the world. Each and every one of you has played your part in that achievement. And now for many of you, this is the beginning of the next chapter in your lives. We will watch with pride as you grow into the academic and professional leaders of the future that I'm sure you are capable of being. So graduates, we're very, very proud of you. I hope that you will look back at your time at Exeter as some of the happiest and most fulfilling years in your life. So please enjoy this afternoon. I look forward to meeting you individually as I confer your degrees upon you, but I now call upon the Vice-Chancellor of the University, Professor Sir Steve Smith, to address the congregation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, Chancellor. A very warm welcome and a special welcome to our graduates today. Today is your day, a chance for you to celebrate all you've achieved during your time at this distinguished university. But of course, it's not only a rite of passage for you, it's also an important occasion for your family and loved ones as well. Because although the focus of this ceremony is you, our graduates, we're also here to celebrate all of those who've encouraged and supported you. And we do appreciate that some of you in the audience have made great sacrifices to support our graduates during their studies. So perhaps I could ask our graduates to join me in offering our collective heartfelt thanks to family and friends. Graduation is, of course, also about celebrating each graduate's contribution to the University of Exeter's academic community. Each of you has written your own chapter in our history, and you should be very proud. We are certainly proud of you. For some of you, today is the beginning of a new relationship with your university as you join our worldwide community of 120,000 alumni who we're still in touch with. Our alumni are here to help you as you begin and then progress in your career. They have quite literally been here and done it, so make use of their expertise and networks. They want to help and would be really glad to hear from you. Last year, over 1,000 alumni volunteered more than 11,000 hours to support University of Exeter students. For those of you returning for postgraduate degrees, we look forward to welcoming you back in the autumn. There's no doubt that Exeter graduates go on to do incredible things, and so will you. Our graduates pursue careers all over the world, and a University of Exeter degree is your passport to success in whatever walk of life you choose. Our graduates make a positive impact on the world around them, both professionally and within wider society. I hope that your time and achievements here will be something that will stay with you throughout your life. And we will work hard to make sure that your university remains successful and that we continue to make you proud of us. The University of Exeter is a forever institution, and it's an anchor institution here in Cornwall. We hope that your connection with us will be lifelong. It's a forever institution because the world's great universities will be here when the current pressures and challenges are long gone. The University of Exeter is one of those world's finest universities, and Exeter Research and Scholarship are transforming lives and societies around the world as well as here in the southwest of England. This university owes its origin to a group of people who raised funds to create a place of learning in Devon and Cornwall. Their aim was to provide the children of the Southwest with, and I quote, as good a chance in life as children elsewhere in England, end quote. We never forget that aim. Today, we are a world-class university firmly and proudly anchored in our region, working with our partners for the betterment of lives locally, nationally and internationally. We care deeply about our community impact and contribution. The University of Exeter contributes more than £1.1 billion a year into the economy and generates nearly 11,000 jobs here in the southwest. This includes more than £70 million in economic output and nearly 1,000 jobs across Cornwall and the Isles of Scilly. Over the last year, we've also made a global impact through our research in global health, food and water security, climate change, global conflicts and terrorism, to name just a few issues that are not only important for the university, but for the world as a whole. We are very proud that one of our research teams, led by Professor Tamara Galloway, won the prestigious Guardian University Award for Research Impact this year for its research into the devastating impact that microplastic pollution could have on the health of humans and wildlife. We also received the largest philanthropic gift in the university's history, a gift to our medical school, a £10 million donation from the Dennis and Murray Gillings Foundation to establish the Murray Gillings Neuroimaging Centre, a new facility which will double the number of the world's trials of Alzheimer's drugs and will thus affect the lives of many. The College of Engineering, Maths and Physical Sciences has had an outstanding year. The new Renewable Energy Engineering Facility building in Penryn opened its doors, providing students with an exciting new facility in which to undertake various mechanical and electrical research. To date, students have designed, made and tested wind turbines, Mendocino solar motors, as well as erected wind turbine towers and assembled solar arrays. And the Camborne School of Mines students were proud to host the 40th International Mining Games in March, welcoming the next generation of miners from across the world to Cornwall to test their mettle in a series of grueling traditional challenges and events. 39 teams, including 7 teams from CSM, competed in skills such as jackleg drilling and hand steeling. Turning back to the university generally, just a few weeks ago, we found out that we'd been awarded once again a Gold Award for the quality of our teaching, one of only 10 Russell Group universities to receive this accolade. We constantly strive to put our students at the heart of everything we do, creating with them their education in partnership. And we are very proud of our relationship with FXU, the Students' Union here. And I would like to take this opportunity to thank FXU for providing our students with wonderful support, with social and sporting opportunities, and of course, an all-round fantastic university experience. When this university was first founded back in 1955, we welcomed exactly 454 students onto the first year of their degrees. Later this year, around 5,000 new first years will be joining us. Today, the University of Exeter is a destination of choice for many of the world's brightest young people from over 140 countries. More than 2/3 of our applicants last year were predicted 3 A's or better at A-level. And I have to admit that many of us on the stage here today may not quite have got the grades required to get a place at Exeter today. But whilst much has changed over the decades, the University of Exeter's reputation as a creator of graduates of distinction and world-class education and research has remained the same. Graduates like you will transform the world for all of us, and I know that you will make us as proud of you tomorrow as we are today. My final message is simply this: well done. Thank you for choosing the University of Exeter. Thank you for choosing Cornwall. Please never underestimate the transformative power of education. I passionately believe that education opens the door to a more successful and fulfilling life, as I truly hope it will for you all. Please stay in touch with us, because together we make this university one of the best in the world. To repeat, the University of Exeter is a forever institution, firmly and proudly anchored in our region. And we want you to be a part of our community forever. But most of all, please enjoy the day, your day, because you deserve all our sincere congratulations. Thank you.
I now call upon Professor Kip Jeffrey to present the candidates for awards.
Chancellor, by the authority of Senate, I present to you the following who have been deemed worthy to receive degrees of the University. In the College of Engineering, Mathematics and Physical Sciences, for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Renewable Energy, Anthony Granville. For the degree of Master of Science by Research, Graham Davey. For the degree of Master of Science in Applied Geotechnics, Adam Harry Freemantle. Edward Johnson. Rhiannon Jones. In Mining Engineering, Amy Lloyd. Daniel Richards. Joseph Edward Rowland. In Mining Engineering Professional, Christina Isabel Baptista Lorenco. Christopher Michael Bruce. Linda Lou Duncan. George Kiriakou. Mark Allen George Patton. In Mining Geology, Alexander James Kennedy Bottrell. William Clay. Charlie Compton Jones. Matthew Cuthbert. Jordan James Lindsay. Andrew Nisbet. Christopher Parry. Joshua Powell. Libby Rose. Henry Salisbury. Thaddeus Shipley. Charles Robert Stevenson. In Surveying and Land Environmental Management, James Andrew Baxter. Joshua James Conibare. Thomas Cragg. Adam Hampson. Shane Leo Mullin. James Ruff. William Smith. James Watson. For the degree of Master in Geology, Henry Eves. Deborah Jane Ray. For the degree of Master of Engineering in Mining Engineering, Jacob Lloyd Balday. Alexander Luke Goodman. Dominic Howard. Lewis Mark Alban Pegram. Ronnie Powell. Jed William Waldron. In renewable energy, Zaid Bani Hani. Johanna Naya Beheim Freien Bronn Schwarzberg. Matthias Bertoli. William English. Grant Henry Finn. Isabel Nicola Hammond. Cecilia Moramarco. Eduardo Norenzi. Margalida Ortega Adrovia. James Petreco. Casper Sultan Seyanid. Laura May Williams. Alexander James Wilson. For the degree of Bachelor of Engineering in Energy Engineering, Sean Lucas Tan Carpenter. Caleb Andrew James Martins. Thomas Newton. Irina Stolyarova. In mining engineering, Hannah Burt. Ivan Teddy Shihang Guebo. David Elliott Coulton. Lewis Charles Fletcher. Sajad Jabakal. Filomena Kisha dos Santos Jose. Fahim Kibriha. Angus Longdon. Hugo Desborough Malcolm Mason. Adam Alexander Moorcroft. Funge Francis Moyo. Nicholas John Pierce. Alexander Luke Perry. Rohin Shah. Max Joseph Simpson. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Applied Geology, Gregory Ashrat. Henry Ayres. Matthew Bridges. Jessica Kamak. Isaac William Ewan Craig. Rowan Thomas Holgs. Adam Hall. Isabel Lobb. Kateria Parkinson. Hannah Nicola Grace Ritchie. Benjamin Henry John Tebbert. Elliot Thomas. Lauren May Tyso. Connor Wilkinson. Adam Williams. Glenn Peter Indra Williams. Oliver Wilson. Shung Ming Ryan Young. In Engineering, Geology and Geotechnics, James Casimir Baliki. Luke Samuel Bateman. Louise Catherine Cross. Rory Joseph David Denton. Jonathan Paul Gartland. Marcus Nevitt. Zachary Ayton Cripps. Hugh Philip Llewellyn. James Muse. Kate Radford. Ernestus Sipavicius. Matthew James Vowles. In Geology, Beth Bedden-Jackson. Zach Evans. Sean Gardner. Arthur Goodwin. Michael William James Hawkins. Michael William Hollis. Reuben Powell. Max Benjamin Oliver Pye. Rebecca Schofield. Katie Sarah Sexton. Megan Shute. Rachel Wayne. Xenia Alexandra Warren. Patrick William Wiley. In renewable energy, Rebecca Judith Beresh. Ruijer Rodney Chan. Harry Edward Eves. Alexander Fry. Christopher Gunn. Matthew Lloyd Russell. Adam Stevens. For the degree of Engineering Doctorate in Offshore Renewable Energy, Stephen Christopher Alsop. Kwaku Ampia Karikari Boateng. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy in Mathematics, Thomas Mitchell Holding. Marina Meyer.
I now call upon the public orator, Professor Slobodan Djordjevic, to present the honorary graduate.
Dr. Andrew Douglas Garrard, CBE. Andrew Garrard built his first wind turbine when he was only 18. He then took this initial concept and turned it into a global success story by founding a company and running it for over 30 years with some truly remarkable achievements. After a degree in engineering science at Oxford, Andrew came to Exeter to complete his PhD in fluid mechanics. His largely theoretical thesis tried to explain why dolphins swim faster than their bodies should in theory be able to. Is it because of the polymers in their skin, or because the skin's flexibility reduces drag? That caught the attention of US Navy and Admiralty, who sent Andrew a letter offering him a job to carry on the dolphin skin research in a different vein. However, Andrew did not think that the world needed better weapons. Instead, he believed it needed cleaner and more sustainable energy production. So after graduation from Exeter, he went on to work for 4 years in the Wind Energy Group, a subsidiary of Taylor Woodrow Construction, British Aerospace and GEC, where he met another young and ambitious engineer, Ansal Hassan. Sensing the long-term potential of wind energy and wanting to make it commercially sustainable, Andrew and Ansal decided to go it alone and founded Garrett Hassan in 1984. It might sound like a risk. At the time, they had no clients, no office space, large mortgages, and in Andrew's case, a new baby. But they also had an unshakable confidence in the future of renewable energy and in their ability to build a successful business. To begin with, they based themselves at the City University London, later moved to Bristol, and meanwhile grew to become the largest renewable energy consultancy globally, with 1,000 staff in all continents. Under Andrew's leadership, Garrett Hassan designed numerous large and very large wind turbines, including in 2011 the largest turbine in the world built by Samsung and now operating in Scotland. The technology that he and his team developed has become industry standard. Nowadays, half of the wind turbine manufacturers in China have turbines designed by Garrett Hassan, and half of all existing turbine designs use their control system techniques. Andrew was also responsible for the world's largest wind turbine certification organization. He helped write the technical rules for certification, which are relied on heavily by turbine designers, owners, and the investment community alike. His company is driving innovation and is responsible for the majority of financial due diligences done on the wind farms around the world. At the same time, Andrew is a strong supporter of environmental policies related to climate change and in support of social justice issues. His organization's remit has steadily expanded in recent years to cover solar, wave, and tidal technologies, which all offer good opportunities for development. In different ways, Garrett Hassan, now part of DNVGL, has also supported research projects at the University of Exeter, particularly in Penryn. Over the years, Andrew has divided his time between engineering, business, finance, and politics in its broadest sense. As an all-around person, he has endeavored to bridge gaps between those disciplines, and in so doing, he has been part of the founding boards of several important UK institutions, such as the Tyndall Centre for Climate Change Research, the Cabot Institute, and the UK Energy Research Centre. While pursuing an exceptionally successful business career in engineering, Andrew has not lost sight of his own responsibilities to his profession and society in general. He has done the duty side of life. He was chair of the British Wind Energy Association, president of European Wind Energy Association, and he also chaired Bristol's year as European Green Capital in 2015. Needless to say, Andrew has won numerous national and European awards and fellowships. To name a few, Garrett Hassan won the Queen's Award for International Trade twice. In 2006, Andrew received the European Wind Energy Association's Paul Lacour Prize for Outstanding Achievements in the field of wind energy. Last year, he received a CBE for services to renewable energy, and he is a fellow of 4 learned societies and professional associations, including the Royal Academy of Engineering, and is an honorary fellow of New College, Oxford. Andrew is very humble about his accomplishments. He attributes much to being in the right place at the right time. However, those of us who have experienced the consequences of his work know that hard work, skill, and dedication are the main drivers. In his recent retirement, he deserves to relax with his family on the farm he's recently bought just the other side of the Tamar, but we hope he will continue to offer his insights and experiences for many years to come. The industry would be greatly diminished without him, and we at the University of Exeter are delighted to have him inspire our students. So to conclude, in recognition of Andrew's immense contribution to the field of renewable energy, of his leadership both nationally and internationally, which helped transform the way we think about sustainable energy production today, Chancellor, it is my honor to present Dr. Andrew Garrett for the degree of Doctor of Engineering honoris causa.
Pride and honour to award you the degree of Doctor of Engineering honoris causa. May I invite our honorary graduate to speak to congregation.
Well, thank you very much, Professor Georgievich, Mr. Vice-Chancellor, Mr. Chancellor. It's a great honor for me. I think graduation day, graduation days are splendid days full of honor and thanks and congratulations. So first I should start by congratulating all of you. Not just the graduates, I think also the parents, grandparents, friends and family. I'm an engineer. And not all of you, I know, are engineers that are new graduates, but I hope you will allow me to speak as an engineer. And much of what I have to say is, I think, relevant to the physical sciences in general. I did my PhD here in Exeter. No, not here in Exeter. In Exeter, but not here, in fact, because this didn't exist when I was doing my PhD. It was in the engineering department, but it was quite mathematical, very mathematical. And I was very fortunate to have a supervisor, an uncompromising and rigorous supervisor, which sometimes is an advantage and sometimes is not, who was mathematically inclined. He worked on the fringes of mathematics and engineering. Unfortunately, he died rather early, some decade ago, but I owe him a big debt too. But his mathematical education stood me in very good stead and to some extent shaped my future. So my time in Exeter was certainly formative from that point of view. I learned an important lesson in the early 80s when, as a young company, we were hired to retrofit a wind farm which had some rather floppy American blades attached to it, but the wind farm was in California. And we retrofitted that wind farm with good, stiff British blades, and all went well, and we were rather proud of that. It was the early days of our activity. And about 6 months after that, I rang the client in good client care protocol and said, how are the blades? And he said, well, the blades are fine, but all the towers have fallen over. And this, if you're an engineer, you recognize that this was a bad comment to be faced with by your client. And I apologize for a moment. The next little bits are going to be a little bit geeky, perhaps for some of the parents and family, but I shall persevere. So this told me that we needed good models of these turbines, good mathematical models. And maths, I believe, is the glue that sticks most of engineering, a lot of science together, and from time to time is able to offer at least a small helping hand to other disciplines such as economics, which needs a lot more help in my opinion. We've got a lot to offer there. I built a global business based basically on solving differential equations, and I make no excuse for that. I think it's a positive qualification. My company's mission was to be able to predict everything that happened, to predict the weather that approached the wind farm to the electrons leaving at the other end into the national grid or its foreign equivalent, and everything in between. That accident that I mentioned was some 35 years ago, and those blades that failed and the ones that survived, I could carry on my back alone. So that gives you an idea of the dimension. It's just been mentioned that we designed the biggest windmill in the world, 164 meters in diameter, with a swept area 3 and a bit times the size of the Wembley Stadium football pitch. I can no longer, broad shoulders that I have, I can no longer carry such a blade. You know, it weighs some 60, 70 tons. And to use an overused word, but in its proper sense, not the American sense, those turbines are truly awesome. And it is clearly important to be able to understand such a turbine properly in great detail before you build it, rather than after you build it. Because you can imagine if you had your client and you phoned them 6 months after putting up those turbines and all the towers have failed, that would be rather a bigger problem than the one we had in California. And a lot of that relies on decent mathematical modeling, on comprehensive understanding of the theory of engineering. And I think the intellectual satisfaction, which perhaps we don't think about enough, the intellectual satisfaction of abstracting some big and complicated machine, in my case a wind turbine, turning that into a set of differential equations, solving the differential equations, and then finding by some extraordinary freak that they actually agree with reality, is a truly magical moment. I'm actually an atheist, and perhaps I shouldn't mention that here in Truro Cathedral, but I guess that agreement is probably as close as an atheist gets to a religious experience. We'll see. So, well, enough of all that academic jiggery-pokery, excuse me. Let's talk a little bit about business. I count myself as having been extraordinarily lucky to have found a discipline, an activity which is technically fascinating, expanding rapidly, and also, I think, vital to our future society. And I've seen the industry growing in my professional lifetime from pretty much nothing to last year producing renewable energy produced in the UK, 25%, a quarter of our electrical needs. And that is a truly remarkable feat and a clear example of engineers rising to a huge challenge, in this case, at least the first steps towards decarbonizing our electrical generation. I think perhaps as an industry and a movement, we don't concentrate enough about that. So we've gone from 0 to 25% in 15 years. We've gone from a turbine that I can carry on my back to something 3 times the size of Wembley Stadium in about the same time. And that, to use a technical term, is gobsmacking. I'm proud to be an engineer. However, I do think that we're sometimes a little bit too passive. Now, we have answers to quite a lot of the world's problems. But really, we shouldn't wait for some PPE graduate to ask us the questions. We should come up with those questions ourselves. 50% of the, no, more than 50% of the State Council in China, the people who run the country, are engineers. Less than 1% of our MPs are engineers. You new graduates, you can be part of a new era of agenda-setting engineers. And some of you at least should aspire to get to the Houses of Parliament, because a lot of our future, particularly in energy, is political. And we need to be there with the answers, not just with academic questions from PPE graduates. Our position would also be a lot better with a better gender balance. Actually, I've written here, there's not much evidence here today of that changing, but I think actually that's wrong. I think you're doing pretty well. Well, you're not doing well enough, but you're doing quite well. But really, we are wasting some 40% of the potential engineering talent because we don't employ, we don't engage with, we don't excite enough women to enter our profession. I would like to offer a particular note of congratulation to the women engineer graduates today, because your profession, your country needs you, and you need to proselytize and get out and get your junior partners involved in this business. Please. I think renewable energy actually does a little better than most parts of the engineering profession, but nevertheless, we are sadly lacking in the proper numbers of women that we should have working with us. Incidentally, the most senior engineer in the country, the president of the Royal Academy of Engineering, Dame Professor Anne Dowling, is, as her name suggests, a woman. So that is a move in the right direction, but a small move. I've run an international business for getting on, well, over 30 years, and every day I'm humbled by the linguistic expertise of my foreign colleagues. If you don't already speak a second language, then you should learn one now. If there's some of you here today who are not quite sure what you're going to do tomorrow, now that you've graduated, use that spare time to add another language, at least one other language. It will stand you in good stead professionally, but it'll also give you an additional social and political dimension. If we are really stupid enough to leave the EU finally, that may be particularly important as well. My generation has started, albeit in rather a feeble manner, to address the problem of global sustainability. And now you must take on that mantle. Not just as an obligation, and it is an obligation, for all the graduates, but I think particularly for graduates in physical science and engineering, not just as an obligation, but also as an opportunity. Greening our society touches all of us in some way. It might be plastic, it might be not buying asparagus from Peru, it might be not taking as many flights or any flights at all. It touches all of us. But it won't be achieved through preaching, but it'll be achieved through a global change of attitude and by creating a huge range of opportunities which will challenge you intellectually, I hope will reward you financially, as well as being thoroughly worthwhile. And, perhaps more importantly, at least in my case, it will be fun, because fun is also important. You are at a decision point in your lives. And before the 2007 crash, a large number of Numeric graduates were attracted by the wiles of the city and left the profession. I'm glad to say that as a result of, or certainly after that recession, that migration has been reversed, at least gently, but it has been reversed. And people are returning back to the physical professions which need you, which need the high caliber graduates, which I'm sure you are. Over and over again, I have seen engineers or the engineering profession, and now you, repeatedly rise to the challenges with extraordinary ingenuity. And incidentally, ingenuity and engineer come from the same Latin root, ingenium. So that tells you something. We engineers, and you in particular, must take a leading role in shaping our future society. I challenge you today to use your newfound engineering degrees to rise to the engineering challenge of greening our society, locally, here in Cornwall, nationally, and globally, and in at least 2 languages. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Not all our graduates who are receiving their degrees today have been here to hear that wonderful speech. Some of them are away on work or health reasons or vacation, or perish the thought some of them may have put the wrong date in their diary. But they get their degrees in any case. So please join me in congratulating those who received their degrees in absentia.
I now call upon Jamal Clark of the FXU to give the student vote of thanks.
Good afternoon. It is my privilege to be the first to address you as graduates and say congratulations, you've made it. Late nights in the library, long winter days wearing flip-flops, far too many pasties, and of course, those unforgettable nights in Club I. They have all led to you sitting here collecting your degree. For many of you, this may have been a truly difficult journey at times. However you got here, this is your day to celebrate a huge achievement, so make the moment count. Take a breath, and remember this moment, not just on your phones, but here, now. Take time to raise a glass and be proud of everything you've achieved. Not just getting your degree, but everything else you've accomplished too. The fundraising, the volunteering, the sports, the societies, and getting involved in the local community. Wherever the world is taking you next, whether that's sticking around or flying to a far-flung outpost, don't forget the memories you've made here in Cornwall. At this point, we must not forget to do some thank yous. Firstly, to family that have, through the highs and lows, provided you with unconditional support and were always just a phone call away. I'm sure if they're anything like mine, then you've already had a million photos and they've told you how proud they are of you a few times. But throughout all the madness, we should take the time to thank them for their emotional contribution to you being sat here today. Could you please join me in giving them a round of applause? I would also like to give a thank you to the academics and the staff at the University of Exeter who support students from their first steps on campus all the way through to graduation and beyond. They challenge us, channel our ambitions into reality, and give us time to fashion new solutions to real problems. And lastly, to your friends. Most of us come to Cornwall not knowing a soul, and the people that you sit amongst today, that you laugh with, study with, surf with, party with, they will be your true friends for life. I honestly believe that studying in Cornwall brings us all closer together. It's a truly unique and special place that nowhere else in the world can match, and it's a fantastic place to meet true friends. So let's show our appreciation to the amazing people that have made your time in Cornwall so special. So what now? Some of you will know where you're going next, some of you won't. But it doesn't matter, because in this moment, let me tell you, you can go wherever you want. You can do whatever you want. And through saying goodbye to Cornwall, that may be hard, but remember that we will always miss you, and no matter how far you go, Cornwall will never leave you. The memories that you've made here will be part of you forever. Whatever you choose to do, make your life spectacular. Congratulations, class of 2018, and good luck.
Jamal, thank you very much to you personally and to FXU for the wonderful things they do to enhance the student experience. Sports and social activities, cultural activities, and the support you give to our students. For many students, going to university is the first serious amount of time they've spent away from home. In many cases here, it's the first major time they've spent out of their own country. The FXU and our staff provide enormous support to students as they cope with the occasional ups and downs in life. The people we saw here getting their degrees, confident, striding forward, a world of opportunity ahead of them, have not always been like that. They've had occasional low moments. They've had moments of stress and distress. And the university, both through our formal functions and through the Students' Union, plays a very important part in providing support, care and love to people during those times. I'd like to thank three other groups. Firstly, I'd like to thank the people of Cornwall. We have the Mayor of Camborne with us. I express a particular word of thanks, and please take it back to your council, sir, to Camborne. That's where our School of Mines, our engineering, our great inheritance derives from, and we will always treasure that. We also recognise that Cornwall is a small community. It's isolated. I'm a Cornish boy, Truro born. I spent the first 18 years of my life here in Truro. When I was young, we were told you'd have to go away to make your life. And people would say, what a great shame that our young people can't get a degree here in Cornwall. I was never completely persuaded of that. There are a number of students today who come from Cornwall and have decided to stay here, but I think many others would say that going to university is an opportunity to broaden your horizons and go to new places. And of course we have so many people getting degrees today who are not Cornish, but have come here, and I think they have grown to love Cornwall and the people of Cornwall. And I hope that they will remain attached. Indeed, the evidence suggests that quite a high proportion of our students do say, actually, this is quite a good part of the world to live, and I'm not sure that I want to go somewhere else. Perhaps I can make my career here, and that's really good for Cornwall when people do that. But even if you don't do that, please come back to university. Please stay in contact with university, because learning continues to advance, and stay in contact with your lecturer. Stay alert to opportunities to improve your knowledge and your effectiveness. I also want to thank the professional staff of the university, the people who make it work. It's quite complicated running campuses, and the people who do it normally go unsung and unnoticed unless something goes wrong, which hopefully is very rare. But we thank them for their diligence and their industry. And I would join Jamal in thanking our academic colleagues here. They have cajoled, encouraged, inspired, berated the students to get them to this point. As I see the graduates coming across to me, I see a number of them look to their teachers and mouth a word of thanks, which is really tremendous. There are also a couple who say, I bet you didn't think you were going to see me here, did you? Well, they were here, and congratulations to them. It's been a bit of a tricky year for us in the academic faculty, but we have done a great job, and the fact that the university is one of a minority of Russell Group universities, these are our leading research-based universities, one of a minority that also get a gold rating for teaching, is an act of balance which I think we should be deservedly proud of. So thank you very much to our academic staff for your extraordinary commitment and your great success in developing the cohort of today's students to whom we've been awarding degrees. At this inflection point in your life, what are you going to do next? Perhaps learn a second language. I'm not sure that I'm up for doing that. As a Cornish boy, I had to learn English as a second language. But what I would encourage you to do is to be ambitious, not just for yourselves in your personal life, your professional career life, or your civic and community life, but be ambitious for the impact that you can have on society. You are talented people. You have much to give. Good things don't normally happen on their own. They happen because good people put their minds to making that contribution. That is what I'd encourage you to do. You have tremendous skills. Use those skills for a good and positive outcome to create a better world. It's been a joy to be here, to be presiding in this graduation ceremony. Thank you very much for your attention. I declare congregation closed. Thank you.